Hi there, Oleg. Let's take a look at this first set of essays you've sent us. Schools, merely educational or entertaining as well? Here's what you said. Modern society has divided into two different groups regarding the attitude to schools' teaching process. One of them considers that this should be bare and strict, just giving knowledge, whereas the other believes that spending time in schools should be more attractive and interesting. In my opinion, the more entertaining way allows students to get more materials from classes. This essay will show some benefits using examples of providing interactive lessons and grabbing senior pupils' attention. Okay, so far so good. So let's see your next paragraph. Firstly, involving learners in the teaching process helps them understand information more deeply. Preparing for a lesson, pupils usually do a small research and then consequently are able to explain the material in their own words, which are usually clearer to their peers. For instance, an experiment held in Denmark showed a significant improvement in knowledge gaining on almost 15% when teachers were replaced by their students. I don't understand this sentence. Thus, changing roles in the educational process undoubtedly demonstrates advantages for the whole class. Where is the aspect of entertainment here, though? Okay, great. So you're talking to me about new methodologies, about, learner-centered teaching and turning things around and having learners involved in the teaching. But where's this aspect of entertainment? So don't miss the point here about entertainment. If you could have included how all of this is entertaining, then I would say yes. But as it is here, it's not on topic. It's as if you're talking just about methodology and not talking about entertainment, okay? All right, moving on. Secondly, boring lessons cause negative impact on high school learners. In order not to waste their time, teenagers prefer to play truant and spend their time in a more pleasant way. Okay, recent research, no A in front of research is uncountable. So recent research conducted among school seniors presented that only 45% of them have never skipped dull lessons. Therefore, making teaching process in schools more entertaining can decrease the number of young people leaving lessons instead of getting knowledge. All right, it took a long time for you to get to your point, so it feels like the central idea is not clear from the very beginning. And I don't really feel like you were arguing what you're supposed to be arguing. In other words, if you were arguing that schools have to be more entertaining, it doesn't exactly help that when your whole paragraph is structured around, well, when lessons aren't entertaining, look how this is bad. All right, it's the opposite way of going about this. I really want you to focus on this aspect of the benefits of an entertaining class rather than the negatives of a boring class, okay? Should you include that somewhere in your essay? Well, yeah, you could if it's relevant, but I want you to really change the perspective at which you're looking at this topic, okay? I hope that makes sense. I really do. Okay. To conclude from examples and arguments given, I strongly believe that schools have to use more atypical and attractive ways of presenting knowledge. Moreover, they will probably become more common in a few years. All right, there's really very little here about entertainment. Very little. It feels like this is, it's like you're answering a different essay, really. It feels like you're talking about whether new methodologies are needed in school or not. Okay? And that's not really what the essay is asking you to talk about. So I want you to be a little bit more aware of this and really focus more closely on the task and what they're actually asking you to talk about. Let's look at this one about the enjoyable activity. Can it develop better skills and imagination than reading can? Children need a lot of everyday activities to become well developed. I totally agree that there are a lot of vitally important activities apart from reading, not except. And they help children, because we don't use kids in IELTS, it's too informal, to grow up skilled both mentally and physically. This essay will prove my position using arguments and examples from the sports and computer games activity. Okay, from sports, not the sports. Firstly, playing computer games lets children develop different skills, not only imagination. So, playing on electronic consoles can make a child more quick-minded, dash here, hyphen, Developed a spatial awareness and good reaction. Resent. No, you mean recent with a C. Recent research conducted among pupils, no comma, found out that boys, no comma, who play computer games regularly show very high results in mathematics and physics. Therefore, playing on consoles develops children's minds from many sides and helps students to be more successful in their studies. Fine. Secondly, sports and physical activities can develop children's, not organisms, you mean their bodies, from the side that reading will never be able to. The reason is that going in for sports or doing different exercises, I don't understand this going in for sports. How about doing sports or doing different exercises improves people's cognitive and physical abilities? For example, an American survey showed that young sportsmen are not only in good physical shape without the A, but their brains can react much quicker and demonstrate higher flexibility in different situations than brains of non-sportsmen. Thus, developing physical abilities not only makes children's bodies stronger and quicker, but also upgrades their mental skills. Okay, fine. To conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that reading is not the main activity that children need to become skilled and developed. Besides, it is predicted that in several decades, reading will give way to education with the help of virtual reality. All right, this was fine until you got here. I didn't really care for this. First of all, besides, it feels a little too informal in this context. Also, this type of prediction is just unrelated. I mean, I'm all for predictions, believe me, but they have to be somehow related to the actual prompt and to the actual essay in terms of how you developed it. This idea of virtual reality seems really, I don't know, kind of irrelevant. So I don't really encourage that. Now, let me tell you what my biggest issue with this essay is. Better skills you covered really well. Both paragraphs dealt with that. But you never mentioned anything about imagination. Only once did you use the word imagination here. But you never actually developed it. And so it feels like it's, you've only covered half of the essay. Okay? And I really don't want you to do that. You have to really pay attention to all of these ands here. Okay? And all these plurals, so better skills. Yeah, not just one skill, but multiple skills. So you did that. That was fine. But you didn't touch imagination other than this one little word here. That's just not enough. You absolutely had to develop it a little further. All right, so let's talk about what you need to do here. The grammar part was fine. You did all that well. All that was successful. You followed the template well. No problems there. Vocabulary was okay. The grammar was okay as well. I read it with ease, I think we could say. All right, so my real concern here is about the task achievement and the topic development. Go ahead and correct these essays based on this video correction, and then the next thing you need to do is you need to make an error correction list where you write down all the mistakes that were pointed out to you. Next to each mistake, write down what the corrected version will be. This is a list you're going to add to with each video correction you get back. Then the third thing you have to do is, of course, write a new set of essays using everything you've been learning along in the course and through these videos. Go ahead and send all those things back to us, like I said, within the next 24 hours or so. And we'll be here. We'll be waiting to see what you write next. So good luck.